Let's take a look at using Attributor. Attributor is a plugin which you would have downloaded from the App Store or got from Open Spatial. And so when you install it, you'll get an icon on the add-ins menu, two sets of icons, a enhanced block insert and block editing tool. So if you just click on one of those, it'll prompt you to insert the block. You can hit tilde or you can type in the name and go in and put that block wherever you want it. And so this looks the same, except now when you hit enter here, the dialog is an enhanced version of the insert dialog that you get from a regular AutoCAD insert. You can use standard blocks. These are just a regular block with attributes. However, these drop downs provide you a whole lot of benefit because it's really quick to go in and enter your information, and then you can get really good solid data here. This is configurable, these, and you can find out that in another video. Also, you can flag which values are mandatory. So if that value, for example, is not entered and I hit OK, it will prompt you to say you need to fill out the mandatory columns. So if I do that, I can put it all in and enter that. There's also additional value here because if you want to see the block tag, there's the block tag and the description. So you can show both of those together. And then for these drop downs, you also want to know what is the code. In other words, what's for the domain value, there'd be a code value and the description being easy to read. The code value would be what you put into the actual column itself, whereas the description is the human readable version. There's also a set of documentation that you can look at, and you can find out more information from Open Spatial here. To look at the documentation, you click Help, and it'll open the Attributor documentation, and you can go find out about install, using it, details of the user interface, and Attributor configuration. In addition to the two commands provided on the add-ins ribbon for the plugin, you can add Attributor commands to a regular menu pick. So the two commands provided are both of them prefixed with OS, but there's OS Attribute Edit and OS Block Insert. You can add those also to your menu picks as well, and that's really useful. So with Attributor, you get a sample menu with sample blocks. So these two commands are the standard ones, but here's an example of how you would use Attributor off of the menu. So if I use that same menu pick to put in the block that I put, it makes it very easy for the user to literally just go in, and this menu has already put it on layer 0. You could put it whatever layer you want, and it's set to not prompt for the scale, but to just prompt for rotation. So that's all standard AutoCAD menu picks for commands, and there is more in the documentation. So a very quick way for you to enter information in there. You can also go in and notice on the sample menu, let's go in and say put in a standard block. So these ones are National CAD standard based layers and blocks, and then this is a Australian standard called A spec, and this is the W spec for water for that. But to use an example there, if I put in a pump on this and look at Attributor, you'll see Attributor can take a block with many attributes, and instead of having the next and back button, which really hides a lot of information, what Attributor does is provide you with a slider bar so that you can see all of the information required, and you can go in and fill that out as needed into your block.